Hi, Mike.
We live?
We're alive.
Love of fuck. God.
For the love of fuck.
For the love of fuck. That's the way you want to start every show. For the love of fuck. I just leaned over and I pushed my mic out of the way because I was writing something, which I'm still doing. And it just tipped over and smashed onto my keyboard. I feel like Jesus. I can't keep anything upright. These mic stands are a pain in the ass. Anyway, hello, everybody. Good day. I said good day. Welcome to the show. Mike is here. Shalom, Big E. Travis is here, manning the main controls. Hey, Trav. And look who it is, my bald friend over there, the beautiful J. Chris Newberg. Mr. Newberg, how are you?
Hi, I'm amazing. Hey, did you guys hear about that host of the Tonight Show? I guess he committed a felony. Come on, what's up?
That's a new joke.
I'm off.
That's not bad.
Felony events.
That's not bad. That's not bad. We'll explain to people what's going on with Jimmy Fallon and his felony coming up. I want to thank everyone for being here. As always, Chris, I watched you in a movie last night for the second time. Yeah. I kept saying to G, I was like, yeah, G's in a movie. It's on Netflix. Eat, Pray, Love. And he's like, with Julia Roberts from 20 years ago? Like, no. I can't remember the name of it now, but
Faith, Hope, Love.
Faith, Hope, Love, yes. And I swear to God, dude, I'm not saying this just to your face, but you steal that movie. The 5-year-old here was laughing his ass off every time you came on the screen. Gross.
Oh, good.
Yeah. It was very, very entertaining for him, and it's a Christian-based movie, but nonetheless, I thought you and Michael Richards stole the fucking movie. I really did.
Thank you. Yeah, you know, it's all about making kids laugh and stealing movies.
Yeah. It was cool because I know some inside you've told, actually on this show, you've talked about doing that film and some of the things that, you know, because you're in every scene with Michael Richards, of course, Kramer from Seinfeld, people will know him as, or the N-word comic.
Right.
You choose, yeah. But you told me some things, and I love watching that scene now where you're like, he's like, oh, not since grandma's.
Wait, hold on a sec. Wait.
Yeah. What?
I hit the wrong button. Sorry. Go ahead. Say that again.
No, I was saying that scene when he mentions grandma's funeral and you're like, grandma's dead? And he's like, stay focused. He yells at you, but
right.
He punched you.
Yeah, he did.
And I love watching that now to see the reaction of you and him. I don't know if that take was before the one where he hit you.
I don't know which one they used. We did it 3 times, and he hit me on the last take, and it was just like, ugh. It was just like, have you ever watched a UFC fight where they show the punch back in slow motion and you can physically see the person getting punched's brain squish the back of their head?
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was like. He's like, are you good with physical comedy? You good with improv? Yeah, absolutely. He's like, you don't mind if I handle you? No, it'd be absolutely awesome. Cool. Stay focused. Whack. And like, yeah.
I can only imagine because he's a big dude.
He's a big boy.
Yeah, he's got those big meaty paws.
He's a big boy. There's no question. So he's like 6'4", 6'5" too. He's like hulking.
And you see bits of Kramer in there. You know what I mean? Like his acting style. It had to be surreal. I know we've talked about it before. We don't have to spend a lot of time on it, but if people want to see it, you can find it on Netflix. And but yeah, it's got to be surreal because the way he acts, the way he moves, the way he delivers dialogue, it's very Seinfeldian.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
I mean, he has his cadence, and that's that.
Yeah. I don't know. It would have been too much for me to handle. Someone like that's such an iconic character in, you know, the history of television. You can't get much better than Michael Richards. Anyway, J. Chris Newberg is who is with us, and Heroin has a great publicist putting on killer shows all the time. I don't know if you're doing one today, Chris, or if you're holding off.
Nope, I did one yesterday, and Trav put it up this morning, and it was pretty fun, I think.
Yeah.
What's horrible? Like one of those things, like if you want to talk about things that like put you in check 24/7, if you talk about those things that are like going live on a visual platform, you know what I mean? It's just like when you know that you get a bunch of people who listen to it eventually, and podcasts are different. They're not like television, not everything else, but like if you are confident enough to do a podcast when one person is watching you on YouTube, that is just like that. It took me 5 or 6 episodes to not want to impale myself, lick every doorknob on earth, because it's like,
yeah. Well,
but it's, and I didn't necessarily like, is it ultimately necessary? Is it?
So, well, you're new to doing Skype, YouTube stuff, right? You were
Right.
just posting a file,
Right.
which is easier, and you don't, that counter on YouTube, because we get hit with that. And if you looked at our YouTube numbers, you'd go, "This show sucks. Nobody listens." You get a few hundred or something, but there's like very specific ways you have to go about promoting it and tagging it, and we've just, God damn it, easy. Take it in, folks. Take it all in. There's very specific ways that you have to go about doing that, churning it to get into the world where other people will see it. And we've just never done it. And so you're seeing that now. So I can imagine it's a bit discouraging when you see, yeah, there's one asshole watching me right now. Thank God for that one asshole, but nonetheless.
I'm always appreciative, but it's just like you can't, you in your brain get the enthusiasm for what it is you're doing, and then the harsh reality of it. And it's just like, it's not harsh reality. It's just, we are shoved down our throat. Rogan and all of it. Like, he's so big. He's moving to Texas, and everything's huge. He's going to this and whatever. And you're like, Rogan's so big that he's got so many people that he's leaving YouTube for $100 million. And I'm like, fuck yeah, that's inspiring. Let's do it. And I'll get online. I'll be like, Corey from wherever is watching. And I'm like, awesome.
Yeah.
And it's like no disrespect to them because you love it, but it's just like, oh man.
Well, you're really good, and I noticed this. There are a handful of comics who I've seen do a lot of podcast interviews and whatnot lately, and the good ones, the pros, get the game, and they often will talk about, hey man, at this point, I don't care if I'm in someone's living room for 5 people performing.
True.
I love performing, and if there's someone there to see it, I'm happy. And I want to call bullshit on that and say, no, you're not. You want to be in a fucking 2,000 seat venue every night. You want to be, and if you're in a 2,000 seat venue, you want to be in a 10,000 seat venue, and have the house packed.
I don't know. I don't know if it's an entirely different energy. I mean, it's like the connectivity level. I mean, like, in front of 2,000 people, the last comedy show I did before this quarantine, it was in Grand Rapids at some theater, and it was like 2,000 or 3,000 people with Russell. And it was like, and then it went to the thing where you're not necessarily calling bullshit the format. It doesn't matter. Comics have always performed in front of 2 or 3 people. Always. It's a thing. We don't care. It's like, and that's not surprising. It's like, we're rewarded by the occasional TV appearance. We're rewarded by the occasional weekend, whatever. So would we rather be in front of more people? Sure. But I think a lot of us, the older I get, I can't speak for anybody else, I really do appreciate being in front of anybody who's willing to listen, especially when you consider now there's so much to watch, so much to take in, so much to listen, so much to consume. If anybody stops by, you've done something, right?
Yeah, but I know the feeling when it's like, there's just this feeling like, hey, this is what I do for a living. People should be into this. And it's like, they're not hanging on your every word. They have busy lives. They have shit going on, and it's just our ego. I mean,
it's all ego.
It's totally ego. When it's misplaced, I get it. I hope tons of people hear this. Who knows how many thousands will, but some thousands will. And we should be proud of that. But I know your feeling of looking at YouTube going, oh, wow, there's 2 people watching. If I do a Facebook Live and 60 people are watching at a time, or 40, that's good. Who has time right when the notification comes on to pop in and watch you? Like, you're just tapping someone on the shoulder and being like, hey, I have something to say. Pay attention. Like,
see, I mean, I kind of like, I mean, there's a part of it that I kind of like, because it's like, it is sort of special, like pop-up shows and I just like turn my computer on, I go live, and for 15 minutes I fuck around and I just try to make songs up or whatever. Not like do covers like for my Friday show, but like, it's an opportunity for me to use my brain like a comic every single day. So it's like, if there's 10 people there and I write 3 songs, maybe I used one of them eventually. That's like the exact same way I would write jokes before.
Yeah, I was just going to say, isn't it kind of like you're basically just letting people fly on the wall for the process in a sense? Because you'd be doing that in your living room anyways.
100%.
And
I would.
Instead of just Michelle or Allison being your audience, it's like, there's 30 people that are my audience, or 100 people. Great. Yeah, it is. And the ones that'll do that tend to be really active, comment, give you feedback, which is usually good, constructive. Fun stuff. E, how's your computer doing over there? You all right?
Seems to have quieted down for a second. So
Are you like in your closet or something? I feel like we're in your closet.
the basement closet. Well, this was supposed to be a room at one point, I think, and then it just turned into a large room closet. But at one point, I think this was technically going to be another small bedroom, but it never was needed. So, like maybe a guest room or something. I don't know.
Yeah, big fan of the board game. I see. You like the board games?
We used to play a lot of board games back in the day. More notably, though, of course, is my high school varsity jacket here, though.
Yeah,
There's another L Lakeland.
There, I see. I've considered wearing.
Is this another move?
That's another L move.
No.
Is that Lakeland?
Down here
yeah,
Lakeland. I think I'm gonna start wearing my varsity jacket again. By the way, like, why the fuck not? It's a nice leather jacket. Like, why wouldn't I wear it?
Sure. What about that god awful red satiny thing next to you?
That's from Child of Christ when I was on the basketball team in 8th grade. So
does it still fit?
Did that jacket come with roller skates?
I don't even think I ever wore this. Actually, if you look at it, I don't think I ever wore this jacket.
Well, to Chris's point, Ding, you need to get a pair of roller skates, and I do mean roller skates, not roller blades, you motherfucker. Get some roller skates and pop that thing on, and go to like the
Craig Backus wants you to put it on. Yep.
Just put it on. Put on some skates. Go up to the quick pick. Get a six of Faygo and a pack of Camels, and then blow bubbles.
The varsity jacket still would fit, I'm sure, but this one does not.
It looks like it does. It fits better than I would think. There's nothing that I owned in 8th grade that I could even dream of putting on right now. Chris, is there anything you own that you could wear from 8th grade besides a hat?
Absolutely not. There's not a chance.
No,
I don't know about my varsity jacket. Radio. I'm seriously going to start wearing this around. Fuck it. This winter, this is going to be my jacket.
Yeah.
What did you varsity in?
Cross country and tennis.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. There you go.
Look at that.
Wear that with pride, son.
Isn't Lakeland the Eagles or Eaglets or Eagles?
How the hell do you know
Look, I didn't put. I put just Fady. I don't know if normally that's what people did, but I just put Fady.
No, we used to put our first name on there, I think.
Yeah. I never lettered.
You didn't letter?
Nope. It was too athletic of a school. I mean, when I was a freshman in high school and had dreams of basketball and football, I was like, I'm going to play football. But my freshman year, I played football. Our seniors, Mike and Melfar Jr., Bob Kula, and Mike Lodish, Lodish did 6 Super Bowls. Kula had 1. I was like, I'll play basketball. B.J. Armstrong was the point guard. And I'm like, come on. And everybody was that caliber. So it's like, I was like,
were you Country Day or Brother Rice?
Brother Rice,
yeah. Yeah, that's one of those.
But also, my effort level at physical pain has always been very minimal. Like, I recognize that, like, okay, I'm not a small dude, but I'm not a big dude. Like, I'm not a football dude. And if a big football dude wants to run me over, I'd much rather try to, like, sleep with some really pretty girl in like, choir or drama.
Yeah. So to be in choir in high school, it comes with some baggage of its own, but you are surrounded by chicks.
Hey, I have the utmost respect for male cheerleaders on the collegiate level. Those dudes get ass. You know they do.
You think so?
I don't know. I was talking about this. I hung out with the only person I still have talked to from my graduating class. I hung out with the other day and played tennis, and I was talking about how I was such a fucking loser, but for some reason I still had a level of ego to make fun of other people at times. And there was this one girl in my senior year. She was a cheerleader, and I fucking despise the fact that cheerleaders got a varsity letter because I didn't think it's a sport. And every single day in lunch class, she would walk by me, and I'd go, "Take off that jacket. Take off that jacket. Cheerleading is not a sport." Or whatever, really meanly yelling at us.
You were a bully. What's the matter with you, E? You were bullied your whole life. What are you doing?
I know. And I used to say it because I hated it. I didn't think the cheerleading deserved a varsity jacket. I don't think it's a sport. So
have you changed your thought on that? Because they seem really, really active. Did
you watch Cheer on Netflix? That was excruciatingly difficult.
Well, no. See, here's the thing. I have a different opinion on what an athlete versus what a sport is. Like a sport, an athlete. There's a lot of athletes that are very, very good athletes, but what they do, in my opinion, is not a sport. A sport has to be a clear defined, like a race, a basketball game where there's a score. Something when there's judges and it's subjective is not a sport to me. It's very athletic and they're very skilled, but I don't consider it a sport.
You've actually thought this through, E. You're not just coming. Yeah. I kind of understand what you're saying. There's not like cheerleading on the sideline while,
especially at a football game. Give me a fucking break. You're just a cheerleader at the high school football team. That's not a sport.
Yeah, well, they got to give them a letter for something.
Let them wear their fucking boyfriend's, their fucking football players that they're dick sucking jacket or whatever. Like,
okay,
wait a second.
He's assuming that all cheerleaders are blowing the football players, and so they just wear their.
Hold on a second. I just want to make sure that I have the new requirements for the varsity Letterman's jacket for female cheerleaders.
Does this
you will not be rewarded for your athleticism? Like, apparently, everybody, you will not be rewarded. Just clarifying here, you will not be rewarded for your athleticism. However, the quantity of dicks you suck of the football players on the team is that what would the actual figurine they would use? Letter?
They can wear that person's jacket. They can wear the quarterback's jacket and be like, yeah, I deserve to wear this because I suck his dick or whatever. But
what if does it matter? Like, can you know how they do the medals they pin on the letter? Yeah. Like if you've blown 5 starters on the football team,
sure,
you get a better medal.
No, it's just it's just got to be your current situation as far as a relationship. I mean,
so you get a Letterman's jacket. Wait, no, you get a Letterman's jacket.
You don't get it. You just get to wear theirs and let everybody know that this is the dick I'm sucking this week.
Oh my God.
If you're blowing 5 of them, then you can have 5 of them in your closet and wear one each day. But
do you have to give it back when you stop blowing said football player? Do you have to give the jacket back?
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So if you, in essence, what you're saying then, if you were blowing a band member, you could wear his jacket?
Well, I mean, band shouldn't have a varsity sport jacket either, and neither should athletics, by the way.
What if the band guy is blowing one of the football players?
Okay, then he can wear the football player's jacket, and everyone can know that he's dating the football player.
I was a band nerd. And I had a jacket. Sorry.
Well, you should
fine. You know what? It's fine in reality.
One of the football players.
It's just not a sport, and I don't know. I thought the jackets were supposed to be for sports. That's what I thought, but.
Okay, I never deep dove into the why letter jackets are given.
I will say this girl that I used to, looking back on it, harass essentially. How we did lunches is there was a lunch where you had like A, B, and C, and the certain lunch you would go to lunch or go to class. Then go to class, go to lunch, go to class. You know what I mean? Like the lunch would be in the middle of your class. So one of the kids at my table sat in lunch in her class, and it did get to the point at the end of the year. Looking back on this, 100% could have been a bull. Today it would have been terribly bullying, but
yeah,
I know that she at one point finally was saying like, "Dude, could you tell him to shut the fuck up about my jacket?"
What did you rag on the other cheerleaders or just her?
Well. I will say this particular one really bugged me, but it was mainly just because she walked by me. That was the only reason. I mean, I did have a staunch, like a very hard stand that cheerleading was not a sport and did not deserve a jacket for it. But
you know more so than like the advanced placement classes she did really well in. She probably remembers being bullied by Eric Fady every day for the fucking letter jacket. To this day, that's one of her main high school memories is probably you being a dick.
Every fucking day for a year in lunch, she'd walk by and I'd take off that jacket. You don't deserve
Poor girl.
I know.
Yeah. Is she still with us? Is she still with us, or did she just check out?
I don't know. I don't even remember her name.
Jeez.
Eddie probably liked her. That's why.
I know it sounds like he had a crush on her, but he didn't. He just yelled cooties and spit on her every day.
Well, I mean, there was some extent of probably my high level of insecurity that I was just taking it out onto popular kids, but
no.
Yeah. Yeah, a psych major, soc major would have a field day with your stories, E, that's for sure. Right when we started, Mr. Newberg was nice enough to lay a brand new joke on us about Jimmy Fallon. And I don't know, guys. What are we doing? Are we canceling Jimmy Fallon?
I don't even know what happened. What happened?
This is the second time this has surfaced of the same video. It's kind of along the lines of who's the midget black comic?
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart, thank you. Of Kevin Hart when he made the tweets about homosexuality, and then they resurfaced 10 years later, and then 10 years later they want him to apologize. Jimmy Fallon wore blackface to SNL. He was doing an impersonation of Chris Rock. Do we actually have it? Do you have that video, Trav?
We're gonna try.
Okay, I asked
How
her
long ago was
to
this?
grab a couple videos. Huh?
Yeah, you want me
How
to
long
roll it?
ago was this?
Yeah, go ahead and roll it so people know what we're talking about.
Give me hand signals if it sounds horrible.
Yeah, this goes.
Now we're talking. Where is he? Man, oh man, read this book. I've seen Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and guess what? Not a lot of black folks on the show. Right. Not a lot of black folks on the show. You know why? Because black folks don't like to answer questions. Oh, they want to be millionaires, but you got to ask that kind of question like, in 1981, how many grams of crack did Rick James smoke when he recorded Super Freak? Regis, you think the only way to get
We get it. Obviously, that's a sketch on SNL.
Yeah.
And it's from 20 years ago, 2000 is when he did that. Pretty good, pretty solid Chris Rock impersonation. I think we can all.
Yep.
Does anyone have a problem with that on SNL?
That's way different to me than Kevin Hart's tweet, by the way. I mean, dude, it made it to air.
Yeah. That
Well,
is.
then, okay. I mean, it's like a lot of people okayed it. Every single person in
on the
the
show's name it.
Yep, sorry.
Yeah, well, people love the gotcha, you're canceled. And Chris, we'll get your opinion on this. And, you know, people are tweeting stuff like, because it's Twitter Nation that wants him canceled. NBC fired Megyn Kelly for mentioning blackface. Jimmy Fallon performed on NBC in blackface. So she was dismissed for being insensitive and merely discussing kids wearing blackface on Halloween. Fallon actually wore blackface while impersonating Chris Rock. He's still working for NBC.
Hey, someone made a good point, by the way. Kimmel did that with a Malone, right? And the was it the Man Show?
Which
was that for the Man Show?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
What did Trudeau?
What's that? Justin Trudeau. Justin Trudeau's been in blackface more than anything. That's his go-to Halloween costume, like to this day.
Well, it doesn't seem like. I mean, here's my only. I mean, I think I can't take credit for the original thought, but I completely agree with it. If you're going to cancel Fallon for being in blackface, you're going to have to cancel SNL for giving him a platform to do it, and also come after them for being hypocrites about that one guy who made the Asian joke, who was a cast member and who was.
Yeah, Shane Gillis, is it?
Hey, you can't really. For nothing is going to happen. I'm sorry. Fallon could be caught fucking a 12-year-old boy. You know what I mean? With a gun to the kid's head, screaming out, "I fucking hate Trump," and everyone would be like, "See, he is cool." Like he would never.
Yeah,
he's so likable. He won't. No way.
Yeah, you didn't have me until you said, "I hate Trump." Once you said, "I hate Trump," he might be able to be. You mean penetrating a 12-year-old boy?
Absolutely. I think. Well, here's the thing.
Rumors of it. You mean video of him penetrating with a gun to the kid's head?
There have been tons of rumors that the guy's like this horrifying alcoholic tyrant to work with. That he's like the alcoholic father. He's super mean. He's super weird. He's very difficult. He's very tricky. He's very triggering. All of this bad shit comes up. Like didn't he almost lose a finger because he's drunk so often on the show? He fell down and almost lost his finger. Nothing happened. This guy's Teflon because he's so safe.
Yes. And Kimmel is trying to get there. If Kimmel's passed on the Man Show, which awesome. The Man Show was great. The Man Show was offensive as shit. It was degrading to women. It was racially insensitive for the sake of comedy. If you're, all you need to do is hate Trump, though. The fact that he hates Trump gives him a lot of leeway. No one's going to go after him. If that was a conservative host that was on the Man Show, I have a feeling it'd be a totally different story. No one's touching Kimmel.
I mean, no one's touching Kimmel either. He's so nice, and all he does is talk about charity and giving money to a sick kid. It's like no one's touching that kid. It's like you were stupid. But I think in these situations, I mean, I'm sure you're aware of this, but Fallon doesn't issue an apology. Fallon calls one of the top crisis publicists in the business and says, fuck, how do I get out of there? How do I get out of this? And they have a team of these experts, the same type of people that Kobe was paying $1 million a month to handle his crisis situation.
Yeah.
And what's going to happen is he probably said, fuck, I'm in trouble. And then Lorne Michaels said, hold my beer. Probably called this publicist company, said, all right, we need a tweet that's going to fix this and going to be fine and take responsibility and just make him better. How much? $500,000 for some kid to write a tweet that says, I absolutely did this. It was totally my fault. Thank you for making me take responsibility for it.
Did you see his actual quote?
Wasn't it, thank you for taking me responsibility?
Yes,
Something like
yes,
that? Yeah.
Yes, 100%. And this just came out in the last hour. I was
He
no.
paid for that tweet. He paid for that tweet, 100%.
So, yeah,
Yes.
I thought it was weird the way he said, I did this. It was completely insensitive and wrong, blah, blah, blah. And thank you for bringing this to my attention and holding me accountable. I was like, oh, God, make me gag.
And like literally a 22-year-old kid wrote that. A 22-year-old kid who's really good at analytics and everything else and stats got the call this morning and was like, we need the perfect things. And like he 100% paid for that sentence. Thank you for making me take accountability. He paid through the nose.
Now, I have always been of the opinion, Chris, don't fucking apologize. Don't do it. Like, stand by your work, stand by the times that it was done in. Now there's another, and Jay used to fight me on this because I would go, oh, great, there's been another tragedy. I'm glad Nike sent out thoughts and prayers to the family. Like, fuck off, Nike. And
I'll agree with fuck off Nike, but go on.
But my point is, Nike, you're a company. You can't possibly represent every voice that works for you. To come out with a blanket, stupid statement, thoughts and prayers, whatever, it's hollow and stupid. Save the tweet. And Jay was like, it's too easy for some firm to get out in front of it and just go, yeah, sorry, thoughts and prayers and all that shit, and just send it off. There's no harm, no foul. I think it sets precedent, and it sends a message like, this is how we're supposed to respond. Every time someone doesn't like something we've done, we owe them an apology. Like, I knew that apology. I don't know that a firm wrote it. You're probably right. But I want to know that Jimmy Fallon is sorry for something that he did. If he wants to go, you know what? I was looking back at tape from 20 years ago, not after it's been caught and thrown up on TV and in the Twitter sphere. If he goes, you know what? There's a bit that we did 20 years ago. At the time, it seemed reasonable. Chris Rock's a friend of mine. I went in blackface. You know what? That was really insensitive. It probably hurt some people's feelings. And for that, I really apologize. Like, I got no problem with that. If he had to come to Jesus himself and felt like, you know what? Some of the shit I did early in my career for a laugh maybe was insensitive, I feel bad about it, and I'm going to issue an apology. No problem. When you have a 22-year-old write you something to get you out of trouble, fuck off. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah. But that's
I'm guessing he's well aware of the whole blackface thing. This has probably been locked in the barrel for a while now. He was probably waiting for it to come out.
Well, it came out when Megyn
come out a bunch.
It's come out twice now. This is the second time, and I think
now he apologizes.
Yeah, now he's apologized for it. But I'd have more respect. I have more respect for Kevin Hart, who went, well, I guess I won't host the Oscars then. Fuck off. I already apologized for this. I explained it. I apologized for it 10 years ago. Every single time my name comes up to do a job now, are we going to reissue this and I have to apologize again? No, forget it. And he's made enough money. So was Jimmy Fallon. They don't have to put up with that culture. And no,
but they're both so addicted to it, they don't want to leave it.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right. You don't cancel Jimmy Fallon. He's about as safe as you can get on TV. He really is. But I just think it's just rewarding bad behavior, because what I always come back to is, I promise you, all you young people that are listening that are on Twitter and TikTok and everything else, and you're doing shit, trying to be funny, trying to make a name for yourself, whatever. There's shit we're all doing right now that in 20 years is going to look bad. And it might be the fact that we had cheerleaders still and swimsuit models. And wow, that was degrading to women. Why would you parade these girls around and judge them based on their perfect bodies? I'm not opposed to it. I'm just saying, in 20, 30 years, could you see that society moving to a place where, no, we're not holding beauty competitions for hot chicks, or we're not eating meat anymore? There's a lot of people jumping on the no meat Travis, you're one of them, Wagon, in 20, 30 years, would it shock anybody on a microphone right now that, we are looked at as monsters for murdering animals and eating them when we had perfectly healthy plant-based diets that were better?
Apologize ever.
Yeah, I don't think you need.
Still miss it.
But I don't think anyone's going to use words. I don't think the plant-based food is perfect as it is. There's so much plant-based. Like I'm not even allowed to eat a plant-based diet for the most part because there's so much sodium in it. You could kill, it's ridiculous the amount of sodium in that stuff. So it's like, yes, technically it's plant-based, but so is poison.
Well, the prepackaged plant-based crap, like the burgers and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm just giving examples of things that society is swaying on. Society is frowning on processed foods right now. Whether that goes away, I mean, will Michael Jordan be looked at as a monster someday because he was pushing McDonald's Big Macs on everybody? In 20 years. I'm just saying there's probably things we're doing that are insensitive to the planet, to other people, that we don't even recognize we're doing right now. And I certainly don't want to be called out for it in 20 years.
Well, I think they're going to call you out specifically for all the cords you use to charge your stuff, because that's unnecessary cord wastage.
True. Probably some of my more racially insensitive impressions will get me in trouble at some point down the line.
When I was younger, I saw Carol O'Connor on All in the Family wear blackface. And it was like when Norm, it was like, this is in the 70s. It was like a big deal because Archie was all like, this is my menstrual show and whatever. And I just remember thinking at the time, I'm like, oh no, he was wearing whiteface. He wasn't wearing blackface. No, wait, he was wearing black. He was doing a menstrual show. So maybe it was black with white. And you know what? I didn't know anything.
That's right.
What?
Wasn't that the minstrel show blackface with the red lips?
It could be, yeah, I think it was. But it was on the show All in the Family, and it was like an important episode, and like 80 million people watched, and whatever the message was. But like as a little kid, I was like, that'd be a cool Halloween costume. Like I didn't know any better. And I think that a lot of these times when you're dealing with things from like 10, 20 years ago, it was looked at differently in the same sort of way you're talking about the things now. Was racism still frowned upon? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. But like in that era, like Ted Danson didn't get in trouble when he was blackface and Whoopi at a birthday party. She was like, bitch, don't ever do that again.
And he was full on minstrel show blackface.
Oh, he thought it was the funniest thing ever, and it's just like, he was like remember he like thought it was cool to say the N-word because he was dating Whoopi and all this other stuff. Yeah. And she was like, I'm lesbian forever. Bye. And that, so with that in mind, I don't know, it's weird. But yeah, I think there's probably going to be some stuff, but looking around, I mean, you never know it until you think about it.
Yeah, well, the generation coming up behind us is going to have a lot more to be looking over their shoulders for, because we got really lucky in that for you and I, Chris and Trav, like this shit didn't really take off until our 20s, 30, like all those really immature, totally don't see the big picture of life, why this would be offensive to someone, all the things that we could have done back then are gone into the ether. They don't exist on film. They don't exist on video or in picture. They just weren't that common. Now, every fucking thing these kids do is there forever. Google, it's there. So, and thank God, I'm thankful that shit doesn't exist. In fact, I was thinking about it earlier. I've never been racist a day in my life. I never. I think certain stereotypes are fucking funny. They're funny to make fun of. That to me is humorous. It's dark, but I find humor in that. But as far as racism, no, I've never been racist towards anyone, but I never went in blackface ever. But that doesn't mean I couldn't have, or that if the right costume idea had hit me when I was 17, that I would have been above that. I could have easily done it.
I mean, you like 1987, 1986, do you think I'm going to be woke enough to be like, at 16 years old, do you think I'm going, like, think about it, going to a predominantly white, upper middle class Catholic boarding school where the only ethnicities were people who were on like the debate team or African Americans who were all of our sports teams and everything else. The rest is all white kids. Do you think that I wouldn't be like, hey man, isn't this kind of funny? Like if one of my friends came to me and said, we're all dressing up as the Temptations. Oh, that's great. Let's do it.
Yeah.
And then I would have been crucified forever.
Yeah. Or we're all dressing up as the debate team. There was a year, me and T. Roy and Derek D. Lenz, we went for Halloween one year as a band called Booty Quake. Have you ever heard of Booty Quake?
Booty Quake?
Yeah, they used to play the Viper Room. They were like the house band at the Viper Room in LA.
Okay.
And we used to go see this band. They were fucking amazing. But they would have giant afro wigs. They weren't in blackface, but they were great musicians, put on a killer show. You've been to the Viper, that tiny little room and tiny stage. You can imagine with this blowout disco ball glitter everywhere. These guys with giant afros playing real music and wearing full-on 70s, 60s, 70s hippie garb. It was a great fucking show. Right. One year, we came back, and my parents grew up in San Francisco in the 60s, and so they were hippies. We raided my mom's closet. She had everything, all her clothes, like all the fucking this like bell-bottom hippie shit with fucking beads and flowery shit, like all of it, headbands. And we fucking draped ourselves in this gear that she had this, and went as Booty Quake, you know, full on. I have pictures of it, full on afro wig, no blackface, mind you. Right. But what are we pieces of shit because we went as Booty Quake for Halloween one year? And
I mean, it depends who you ask. There's always going to be someone who tells you you're a piece of shit, and there's always going to be someone who's going to tell you it was funny. I mean, you'll never. It's just the momentum of like. That's the thing about like. The cool thing about pictures is the purpose of them has changed entirely. Yeah. The purpose of pictures when you were younger was celebration, joy. Oh, and you get that boner because you're going to go up to fucking Perry Drugs or wherever, and you're going to like go in there and you're going to get your film back in 48 hours from your spring break trip to Florida. And it's celebration. Like, dude, you remember? But now it's evidence. And one of those things, like anytime those things are posted, it's just like, get a picture. Did you fucking get a picture? I'm recording this. I have a picture. And it's like, I don't like pictures now. I used to think they were neat. Nope.
Dude, you see it when you go to a bar and everyone holds their phone up. And you're right. It's like there's a cop in the room. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law.
Oh my God.
Potentially. Yeah. Like we used to take horrific pictures. Like Troy and I worked at a photo shop, like film developing. And so that shit was expensive. You remember back then, they go into Perry Drugs, as you say, wherever, and getting film developed was expensive as shit. Yeah. We had a giant chemical developing system that we took pictures of everything. We didn't care because we had free developing. Sure. And so we took more than most, but yeah, you still had to wait. After the party and all those pictures, was like, man, I hope that picture of my ball sack came out. You didn't know instantly. You had to go develop it and then hope it came out.
Yeah, I mean, God, I can't even imagine what that would be like if you're developing like back in the day and the only like access you had to like sex tapes were Super 8. And you had to you'd be like, oh, dude, I just had sex like crazy with my woman. Let's send it in here to this address here in Pueblo, Colorado, and I'll get it back in like 6 days. And then that's like, ugh. But yeah, I think now it's like, for example, even if you look at the news, and I know that you know you're talking about, and I know we were discussing this like when we were texting. If you look at the pictures of like Lake of the Ozarks, or if you look at pictures of like that one I posted for 5 seconds of those fucking idiots at Dairy Deluxe, and like if you look at all of those different people all over each other, for every single one of those people trying to blow off steam, live a little life, do what they want to do, try to exist, even though it's against science and everything and all the warnings, you're allowed to do whatever you want, fucking risk it. There was 100 or 1,000 people who were like, did you see that awesome picture I took of Ozark, not getting everybody in trouble? I took that picture. There's hundreds of people just hoping their picture was just the one used.
Woodward, used. Hopefully, I was rolling down Woodward and I saw the dairy barn and I took a picture of all these assholes. You're right. It is about, because what is the point of taking that picture except to shame people? If you don't know, we're talking about that was in Royal Oak, I believe.
Yeah, 14 at Woodward. Just to explain to anybody who didn't see, because there's probably many. A friend of mine snapped a photograph from the Comerica right by Dairy Deluxe at 14 in Woodward, and she posted the caption, 0 fucks given at Dairy Deluxe. Now, there's probably like 120 people. Like,
it's a line around the building.
Line around the building, no social distancing, maybe one mask. A bunch of people just like kidding all over each other, little kidding all over each other, touching, doing the Pebbles and Bam Bam thing. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, what do you like? It's like, what do you think? Do you think Do you think AIDS went away because we were over it? You fucking idiot! Like, come on. I'm not lecturing. I'm not saying we're all tired of talking about it, but like, how dumb are you? Like the person, like Lynn, she was so excited to bust all those people. And all those people were like, we're going to get a hot fudge sundae because we've been watching Netflix for 9 weeks. We deserve it. And then Lynn's like, the fuck you do. Fuck your sundae.
So who are you mad at more? The person snapping the gotcha picture? Or the
I have to tell you the truth.
Masks?
I'm not mad at anyone anymore. It's like, it's not possible because it would be a 24-hour job to be pissed all the time. I can comply and I can do what I feel. I think that there's an overwhelming amount of fear-based reasoning, but I also don't know that it's not justified. We've never seen anything like this before. We've never been a part of it. 100,000 people. Yeah, I've never met them, but that doesn't mean they're not dead. You know, it's like,
yeah, I think we've in this country especially, and it's probably true on some level in most countries, but in this country, we've really been raised and it's been pounded in our head. This is America. We're better than everybody else. We got freedom. Freedom. We can do what we want when we want. Nobody ain't gonna tell me nothing. Right. And so now you get the government going, you have to wear a mask. You have to go and don't stand within 6 feet of anybody. And people, you know, who have been raised, stand up for yourself. It's your freedom. Don't let your big brother tell you what to do. Those people are now pushed to the edge going, yeah, man, fuck you. How about that? I'm not afraid of no virus. I'm going to stand in line. And I kind of understand what they're saying. I understand both sides. And I'm not saying I'm jumping in line with 100 people to wait at the dairy wherever and get an ice cream. I don't think that's safe. But I kind of understand it in a way, don't you?
I get it. I mean, like that's why I said I'm not mad at anyone. It's, you know, okay. So earlier today, so Allison, who works as a teacher, she's not here. She every single day she's up at 7 a.m. She's doing her teaching thing. She's online waiting for these kids, doing her thing, and she has not missed a day. Weekend she's teaching summer school online. She's doing all this other stuff, and she got to a point today. She's like, I can't fucking do anything. I'm tired. I don't want to wake up. I have no energy to do anything. I feel no motivation. I feel no existing. And they're like, I totally get it. I was like, yes, good for you. Way to go. Yeah. Feel that way. Go through it, experience it. And like, I'm not her. I don't know what she's going through. And so all of these people that I kind of relate with from being from there do have that approach of, fuck it, this is bullshit. And I get that. But that, I mean, you're still dealing with science. You know what I mean? It's just like,
yeah. It's funny you mentioned Allison going through this yesterday. I went through this yesterday where for some reason I'm just depressed. I'm just bummed out. And it's like, I'm asking myself, what the fuck is it? What is the problem? You know, and the problem was I'm stuck. I know if I have a conversation, if you know, my parents have been in San Francisco for months and they're going to be there a while longer before going home to their place in Michigan. And I'm like, I think I'm going to come see you guys there. Just get the fuck out of Phoenix for a bit. And I know it's going to be well, are you going to drive straight through from Phoenix? Don't stop anywhere. Don't touch. And I'm like, I don't want to fucking have the conversation. I want to go to LA and see you. But it's like, I can only imagine what the rules and restrictions are. It's just a giant bummer. It's a pain in the ass. The days of, hey, Chris, guess what? I'm going to be in LA next week. I'm stopping by. And you're like, cool. Like that doesn't exist right now. And there's not in the foreseeable future where it's like, fuck yeah, dude, come on by. Like right before I came out here, remember you were supposed to stay at my house for a week. Right. You were doing the show with Russell, and then you were going to come stay here for a week. We were going to do shows every day that week. Like that would now be met with, well, where have you been? Who have you made out with? What have you touched? Have you breathed the air outside? Did you wear a mask? Have you sanitized? It's a shitty existence in a way. It's in a spoiled way. It's not really a shitty existence.
That's the thing. Like, that's the thing, dude. It's such bullshit, dude. It's been like 2 months, man.
I know. And it's like, dude, spoiled. I admit it.
I know. I've been telling people, dude, there's not a person who's more addicted to social activity than me, dude. I go to concerts, sometimes multiple a week. I go on trips once a month. If I don't fly somewhere in a month, I feel like I get antsy. And so for some of these people, I know, and I know what you're saying, Chris, I'm not like mad at them, but for some of these people that are like, it's been 2 months and I need to get the fuck out. Dude, some of these people are the same people that I was seeing memes from 3 months ago that said like, what my friends are doing on Saturday night, what I'm doing, and what they're doing was sitting on the couch sleeping at 9 p.m.
Yeah,
and now
exactly.
all of a sudden these people are like, I need to get the fuck out. This is bullshit. It's like, I'm not mad at them, but on the same hand, it's like, dude, Anne Frank and 8 people sat in a fucking attic for 2 fucking years, and they had to shut the fuck up in the day, and they had to worry about Nazis finding them. You have Netflix and Hulu, and you can go on walks and shit. Shut the fuck up! It's a virus. It's a real thing. You don't have to be a Nazi, but it is science, like you said. You know what I mean, Chris? Like, so you don't have to be a Nazi about it, but it is science and it is a real thing. Like,
it's just real, and it's like there was the like. I'm gonna see if I can find it because I thought it was pretty great, and it was the most sobering thing. It was just a post. It was a buddy of mine on Facebook, and he wasn't lecturing or anything. He literally was like. He goes, hey, I have a question, everybody. He's like, let's see if I can find it. Here it is.
By the way, if there's real mental, if there's real depression, there's a lot of issues that I'm not talking to those people. People that have gone into it.
Admittedly, we're all coming from a very privileged point of view.
If you've lost a job, if if you're really sitting here struggling with money, those are different issues.
You were in a 7-bedroom home by yourself on the lake.
I understand, and I'm not talking
different aspect than someone in a 1-bedroom apartment in L.A. or in New York or in Southfield.
I agree. When I would do my
sorry, just saying. That's all.
Well, when I would do my messages and when I was doing Facebook Live videos on a very regular basis for a while there, I admit that. That's what I'm saying. I always would say, like, dude, I'm not talking to the people that lost their job. I'm not talking to people that are going through real issues. I'm talking to the people that are living in this same neighborhood I was in. The people that are in some suburban neighborhood and going, I need to go on a goddamn my boat or whatever. And it's like, simmer down for a few weeks. Some of these guys are working from home and making the same money without traveling in their car, without buying things. They're saving more money than they ever have, and yet they need to.
You sound like you're directly attacking Travis right now. Are you referencing Travis exclusively?
Yeah, I think he's going after him.
Yeah, the Travis whole thing, the making money from home, not having to travel. These are all Travis things.
No, I wasn't talking to Travis, but people like Travis.
Go ahead.
Well, anyway,
that was okay. So I found the thing. And so it was.
Your mic's off, Travis. If you're trying to talk to us, your mic's off. Go ahead.
It was interesting to me because it says, he's like, I don't know anyone who has it. I've never met anybody who has it. I'm just curious. Do you know anybody? He had 196 comments. First couple started off. They're like, nope, I don't know anybody. Nope, not a one. Nope, not a thing. It's fake. And one was like 7 people in my hamlet. 7 people in my family died. My sister's brother-in-law died in Richmond in a hospital. One of my grandmothers got it and recovered. Another died. And it's just like, and then the next person's like, they died. That's enough for me.
Right.
I mean, like, I don't need to be a sheep. I don't need to be afraid. I don't need to be whatever. But like, it seems pretty real. No, it's not real to me at the moment because I'm fucking doing what I was supposed to do. I don't consider myself a sheep. I go on a walk. If I want to walk, I go into a grocery store with a mask. I'm not afraid of people. I'm looking forward to hugging people again. However, if someone tells me, hey, don't hug this person for 2 months or you will die. You know what I'm going to do? At the 7-week mark, I'm not going to go, I earned this hug.
Yeah, fair enough.
If they want to do it, what am I going to do?
But I think it's the conflicting messages. Governor Whitmer in Michigan has pissed off a lot of people when it's like, you can go to Home Depot and buy toilet paper, but you cannot go to Home Depot and get paint and wood. And these are like they're making up rules as they go. Garcetti or whatever is he in Los Angeles? I think he's the governor, but he's the mayor of LA. And he's like, you can go to the beach and stand in the wet sand. You can go frolic in the wet sand, but do not lay out in the dry sand. It's like,
okay. Yeah, we're not allowed to. We can go there and be active.
Yeah, you can't go lay out in the sand. You can't just lay out. You need to be moving or something. And some people just go, okay, fair enough. I guess I can go to the beach and frolic in the wet sand and the water. And then other people go, hey, wait a minute. What is that rule you just instilled on all of us based on? Is that science-based? Is there anything to back that up? What is it?
Well, I don't know, man. It's just the rules are the rules. And the majority of like the things that we all read about them, it's like, when you hear about, like, it's pretty simple to me as a non-doctor, but somebody who's tried to read anything from doctors. there's two different perspectives. Number one, and I'll go short, is, you know, there was that video that was posted of that black doctor who was like a surgeon, and he'd been in surgery for like 28, 29 hours or 18, 19 hours. He'd been on for a long time. And all of a sudden he goes, oh, real shit, real talk. We don't have a vaccine. We're making shit up. We're doing our best. We are guessing. So if you want to go to a rave, if you want to go to your birthday party and you want to take a chance on us using you as a guinea pig, awesome. Have the best time. We're ready for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, and then the same thing, they say the majority of places, the likelihood of you catching COVID-19 on a hike is significantly smaller than if you're at a rave at 4:00 in the morning with 6,000 people and you're all fucked up. Everyone's breathing on each other.
Was Allison at a party the other day? Were you saying, or were you bullshitting?
I was bullshitting. No, I mean, everyone here's pretty good. We are not supposed to, hang out in groups at all or whatever. But it was really funny to me because now when you hang out with someone, it's kind of like really being attracted to someone and kind of making yourself feel better that they're safe by asking versus science. Again, like when you're younger and you're really like, if there's a really hot girl you want to have sex with and you're like, hey, are you clean? And she goes, yeah, good enough for me. Good enough for me. Oh, yeah. You just said you were clean. And now it's the exact same thing with people. It's like, hey man, we're gonna it's Memorial Day. If you want to come over in our backyard, there's gonna be 4 of us. We'll socially distance. We can wear masks. It'd be cool. Are you clean? Yeah, good enough for me. We're coming over. It's fine.
Yeah. For a guy, that's on a chick. A chick's got to be honest and open about her cleanliness, because a guy's gonna be like, good enough for me.
Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely. But the woman's gonna be like, well, I did hook up with this sailor 3 Tuesdays ago. Well, he was military. Let's go.
Sounds like a good American. Sounds like, yeah, we're going to take your word for it no matter. Even if you go, pretty clean, good enough for me, America.
If you want to know how, the reason I stopped caring and stopped being like worked up, if you want to know how doomed we are from this cough or this virus, we don't want when we get it, we'll never admit it. Like there's the dumbest things we never admit. We never admit when we're drunk. Are you drunk? No. I'm not drunk. Are you high? No.
Fuck you. I'm not drunk. You are.
And even lowering the bar. Dude, did I wake you up? No. I was. Do you think that person is going to be like, oh, yeah, I have COVID?
I got COVID. Because at the time you're asking them, I'm assuming they're not puking all over themselves. They're probably asymptomatic at the time you ask them. Who's going to go, pretty sure there's a bug coming on. I was at a rave with a bunch of sailors on a cruise ship. So
it's so dumb, and it's like, and they have all these different stories about all these people who are like going out and just like they're like Allison's on Tinder or whatever. She's on dating apps, and she's swiping, and these guys are like, "Want to come over? Come over. I'm clean. Come over." And it's like there's so many people who are like, even though LA is pretty small, it's like 0.2% of LA County has it, or people have died, 40,000 cases, 2,000 deaths. Not a lot in comparison to 10 million people. But people are still.
Who are these guys that think someone like Alice is just gonna be like, see you in 10?
I don't know. I don't know, but there's so many guys. You're a guy. I mean, you're not in this. If you're by yourself in an apartment in Los Angeles, it's 80 degrees outside. The craziest you can do is open your balcony and maybe stand on it. And you see these girls. Next thing you know, you're like, look at that bitch behind that mask. She's hot. Check out that. Like to see what you got under that mask. Like all that. Yeah. Ew. But those guys don't care.
No, and I think there's a strong percentage of the male population who's been pent up for a while that if you went, yo, bitch, you clean, and she went, pretty sure I got COVID, but he's gonna go, fuck it, roll the dice.
100%.
I'll take the flu for a couple weeks, but worth it.
The penis can make the man do anything. Do you see that girl over there? That's perfect looking, whatever year that you can think of, Megan Fox. She's horny. Side note, you put your penis in her vagina, it's glass, and when you pull it out, it's going to rip all the skin off you, and then it's going to light your body on fire. And you're like, yeah, but after, right?
After, not during, after.
Not after. Because men are so stupid.
Pull the tip out, right? As long as I keep the tip somewhat inserted at all times, I'm good until after.
I could live in her.
Yeah, I think Yeah, I think there's a lot of guys who would go, fuck it, I'll take it. For the story.
I think a lot of people are just like, fuck it for the story anyways. It's like I mean, again, I don't care what anybody does. I know who I'll hang out with and who I won't hang out with and what I'll do and what I won't do. I'm in no position to know anyone else's situation. I can think people are stupid. As a comic, I know people are stupid. But
I think as we try to worm our way out of this, it's funny to me. The picture that you shared at the dairy barn or whatever it was is a good example where it's like 100 people in line, 3 wearing masks, none social distancing. They probably, if you asked them, they all thought they were properly doing something to look out for themselves. Well, when I had to cough, I coughed into my arm. Yeah. I'm good. They think they are. I was reading this story, and I'll share it with you guys now, about sex workers in Switzerland. You know, it's legal. Brothel houses are legal there. So they don't have rampant, illegal prostitution. It's like, get the bitches checked out. Guys come in and bang them. And so they're coming up with new guidelines now, like, because they want to open back up for business. And so they've been smacked by the pandemic. Obviously dudes aren't randomly going into whorehouses just banging away. So they're like, all right, here's what we're going to do. There's this group, organization, Pro-Core, and they've got some suggestions that will properly socially distance people so that we can get our fuck on back here in Switzerland. Nice. And so they've said that they've suggested 2 sex positions, which will allow for safe distance between faces. What do you think those positions are?
Positions that allow safe distance between faces?
Yeah, for safe sex. So you can bang a whore in Switzerland. No offense to her.
Or Switzerland. Yeah. Reverse cowgirl.
Bang. There's one. Isis, can you come up with
doggy style?
Doggy style. Very good, boys. Both doggy style and reverse cowgirl allow for the woman to face away from her sexual partner, avoiding face-to-face contact. Other measures include ventilating the rooms for up to 15 minutes after each customer, so they don't want some dude huffing and puffing, blowing a load in there. They're like, let's wait 15 minutes, let the shit settle on the ground before we bring anyone else in here to start huffing and puffing. They want guys to wrap their shit up, busting out within 15 minutes and fucking beat it. I don't know if you...
No problem here, if you know what I mean.
That would suck. You just paid $200. You go in there. She's got a stopwatch on you, and you're like, "Fuck, I'm nervous, man. I couldn't finish in time." They want the wash the bed sheets and hand towels at a temperature of at least 60 degrees each time. Also recommends that sex workers wear a mouthpiece and nose covering at all times. And they don't want. I know, right? She comes in with a Vader mask on. And they don't want the girls to touch any of the personal belongings, like the guy's wallet, his jacket.
They were touching their wallets and stuff before.
Right. It's like, yeah, you don't need to do that before either.
Do they exchange currency, or is it Venmo?
I don't know. It doesn't say in here, but my guess, what is the Swiss currency? It's not the franc.
I don't know.
Travis should know this.
Travis is gone. He left.
Yeah. Regardless, I think they're missing the boat, though, on this. I can think of a bunch more positions that would be suitable.
Okay, here we go.
For the Swiss. Now, this one's a little tougher. The corkscrew, right?
Yeah.
Which is, so you got your girl on near the edge of the bed. Rest her hip and forearm on one side of the bed. Keep your thighs together, and then he stands behind you. So she's got like the body like this, facing away from you. Got to be safe. And then he comes in this way. Corkscrew.
Okay. Yeah.
I think the pretzel dip could work. You could pull off the pretzel dip, but you got to be careful because at this point, it's kind of the same thing. The girl's laying on her side and got her leg all hoisted up like so. And then he comes in over the top and pounds. But you're still face-to-face sort of, so I don't truly recommend it. You've got the flat iron, where she's basically flat iron on the bed, legs together.
You have pictures. You have images there, don't you?
I have some images. Yeah, I do. Yeah. I think you could do the Gee Whiz. You guys familiar with the Gee Whiz?
Not one person in that, like, yeah. Every single thing that you're mentioning, out of whatever thing you Googled, every single person's like, the Gee Whiz.
I love doing this to my audience. Like, Come on, everybody knows the wheelbarrow. Let's go. You can pull off the wheelbarrow in Switzerland. The wheelbarrow, pretty self-explanatory. Get that bitch hunched over. You grab her legs and you got her ass right here. Her face is down in the floor and you're up here. You telling me you got to stick with reverse cowgirl and doggy? The wheelbarrow's right there.
Oh, dude, you're missing. If you're talking about that, you for sure are forgetting the Swiss Miss.
What's the Swiss Miss?
Well, we get a black dude who's really oily,
Oof.
and we warm him up, and then we just put little droplets of white women all over him, so he looks like a hot chocolate. The Swiss Miss.
Am I allowed to laugh at that, or
Why? What did I say that was racist? I said black, which the guy was, and chocolate, hot cocoa, and I just said white girls on top of it to be the marshmallows. I suppose it was super racist. Yeah, we probably shouldn't talk about it.
I want to apologize for something.
I'd like to apologize for something Mike Walters just said.
Well, I at least pointed out that I felt maybe I was laughing at something racist. What's so funny about a black man being covered by white women?
Nothing, but it looks
Nothing.
well. If they're Swiss, it could be a Swiss Miss, like the delicious.
Like there's black people in Switzerland. Come on.
All right. Well, the point is this. I got nothing, but I thought it was funny. Swiss Miss.
Have you ever done the leapfrog?
Leapfrog, the game or the sex position?
Sex position. Duh. Try it tonight. It's a modified doggy. Get on your hands and knees. So if Michelle's listening, get on your hands and knees, keeping your hips raised. Rest your head and arms on the bed. So like that.
Yeah, I get it.
And then you get behind her. Just trying to up the game for everybody.
Okay. Well, I'm not familiar with the what did you call it? The leapfrog?
Yeah, leapfrog.
We play Frogger. She gets in the exact same position, right?
Yeah.
And I put quarters on top of her butt, and I keep saying, "I got next," until she says, "I hit a car."
Oh, I like that.
That's the Frogger.
Yeah, that's a good game. I like that.
I got next. I hit a car.
Mm.
Is a Frogger the game?
Yeah, sure.
All right, you have more. I'm sorry. I
have a couple more. No, you're helping tremendously. And I want to see, can you videotape the next time you play Frogger with Michelle? I want to see that. I love the idea of I got next and putting quarters on a race.
She's a good sport. I'm sure I'll hear from her for that.
Yeah. Anybody who grew up in the 80s and 90s and in the arcade world will understand I got next. And so that joke worked on multiple levels. Stand and deliver. I think stand and deliver is fine. It's this one. I don't know if you guys can see that one up there. Let's see. Yeah, up there.
Stand and deliver?
Yeah.
What dude over 40 can pull off stand and deliver without hurting his back?
Well, if you've got her, right? So you've got Michelle, and she's just touching.
Can we just use another example, please?
Allison, you've got Allison.
No, just like we'll just say Sarah. Sarah
your
is fine.
Mom, whatever. Your mom and Arthur P. Your mom's bent over, grabbing her ankles, and Arthur P's fine.
Yeah, and he's Santa Claus in her.
He's just got her by the ears going, baby. This is the stand and deliver, baby. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
See how I did that?
Yeah, I'll work right on that one next time I get a shot.
Are you familiar with the butter churner?
Yes, for lunch.
The butter churner is pretty self-explanatory. She's on her back with her legs up over her head, like by her knees, by her ears, and then you just churn butter. Just come down on top of it and churn butter. But I think you can keep a good distance away from what?
I just would like to just say for the record, if someone pops in at the beginning of this episode or right now near the end, they have E at the beginning talking about how it's okay for cheerleaders to get varsity jackets if they suck the proper football dicks.
Fair enough.
We're closing with churning butter with Swiss Miss. Oh, we're doomed.
By the way, listener Kelly comes in right through the middle of it. She probably didn't hear the beginning part. She's like, I had that same letter jacket. So set herself up for a joke.
Oh, no. This was Kelly said that?
Yes. Yeah.
But she did.
Which
She went to the
means,
same school.
what does that mean, E? If we're going to further the joke, what does that mean?
No. I mean,
Come on.
I mean, she was sucking the cock of either a football player or a basketball player.
Yeah. There you go.
Very good. Yep. I'll let you guys figure these out on your own, but I think the snow angel works in today's climate. I think the snake works. There's a lot of potential out there, but I give it to the Swiss. They want to get their fuck on. They don't know how to do it exactly yet, but it's funny to me. I think even reverse cowgirl, like, do you honestly think like we're going to be very, very responsible here. We're going to fuck, and I mean for like 15 minutes. And we're going to be very, very safe by flipping her around and doing her reverse cowgirl or doggy style.
I think that you're going to see situations where any vice-related thing, any sin, any sort of like fun thing that's tricky or difficult, that you will find people who will find ways to make it happen. There's going to be touchless lap dances. There's going to be like grind on curtains, all those hug things. All those things going to make happen. But yeah, as far as like, I think, I don't know, maybe this sounds horrible to say. I would probably feel safer having sex with one prostitute who was taking cautionary cleanliness matters than be in the middle of that boat lake at like Ozarks of the whatever. As far as this particular thing goes,
if they're actually doing what they're saying, they're like 15 minutes in the room and they're wiping it down. You're probably right, dude. Honestly,
it's like there's that old trick question: what's more disgusting, your bathroom at home or the bathroom at a rest area? And it's like usually your own bathroom, because the rest area, in theory, every 15 minutes they're cleaning it, and they're maybe I should have said restaurant. I don't know, but it's just one of those things, man. It's just crazy.
Yeah. Moving on to completely different subjects. If you guys want a list of the positions to try out, let me know off the air and I'll send them to you. E, Trav, Chris, whatever. You obviously saw Central Park Karen.
Mm-hmm.
You familiar with Central Park Karen? Do we have video of her, Trav? Maybe we give people a sample. This is a woman named Amy Cooper. She's in Central Park with her dog in New York City. There's a part of Central Park that is like this certain area you can't let your dog run free. It's where people go and they bird watch, and there's certain plantations that they don't want fucked with. So they don't want you to let your dog run free. Well, this particular woman was letting her dog run free, and this African-American bird watcher, he's a lover of birds, took issue with it, called her out on it, and she didn't like the reaction and called the cops, and she's getting in all kinds of shit now we're seeing these. Anytime someone white harasses someone black, it's, Supermarket Sally or, Central Park Karen. So let's show you guys just a little clip of this in case you missed it, but go ahead.
Would you please stop? Sir, I'm asking you to stop.
Please don't come close to me.
Sir, I'm asking you to stop recording me.
Please don't come close to me.
Please take your phone off.
Please don't come close to me.
I'm taking a picture and calling the cops.
Please call the cops. Please call the cops.
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
Please tell them whatever you like.
Excuse me?
Ask him.
I'm sorry, I'm in the ramble, and there is a man, African-American, he has a bicycle helmet. He is recording me and threatening me and my dog. There is an African-American man, I am in Central Park. He is recording me and threatening myself and my dog.
He was?
And my dog.
Are you sure your dog doesn't hate you?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you either. I'm being threatened by a man in the ramble. Please send the cops immediately.
God.
Okay.
I'm embarrassed.
I think we get it. Yeah. Is it the Ramble? She mentioned the Ramble is the part of the park there. Do you think, where is the problem with it? Obviously, there's a lot to dissect in that small snippet we just watched there. Do you think
the same thing? It's the same thing. It's someone using a camera or a photograph as a weapon or as a troublemaking thing. I don't know why he got gold as far as, the attention, how it went viral.
Yeah.
But
the fact that she said, I'm going to tell them that an African-American man, as soon as African-American man came off her lips, it was like,
it was over.
Yeah. Lotto win. If she just says there's a man harassing me in the park. Now it's a black guy.
Yeah.
If she leaves out African-American, to him, it says, I'm going to call the cops and tell them that this man is threatening me, and then calls the cops and says, there's a man threatening me. I feel scared for my safety.
Right.
Is this as big a story, or the fact that she called him out as a African-American man is the problem?
I mean, there's a lot to unpack.
Yeah.
I mean,
no.
He triggered her for whatever reason. Her racism, her fear, her freaking out about this whole virus. All of a sudden, some guy is filming her in the park.
clear lesbianism.
Whatever it is. So
Yeah.
she goes up to him and she has the courage and she says, "Please stop recording me." This is what I just watched. I don't have a problem with with her saying, "Please stop recording me." I think if I ever see someone recording me, I don't like it. It's like, you don't like it. You asked it to stop. They stop. Cool. Then they don't. That's technically harassment. So if she would have called and said,
Is it though in a public place? She's in a public place.
she's in a public
he wants to
place, but
record
you
his
can't film somebody without their consent.
Hold on,
100%.
hold on. I think there's more to this story that we should say. So
Okay.
this guy is an avid bird watcher, and I'm totally serious. He's got his binoculars. He goes to
Yep.
a certain park. You've been to Central Park. It's huge, and there's certain areas, it's very naturey, and he loves going to this little area that's not got dogs running wild through it. And so he's seen this before where it's early in the morning. There's not really anyone out here. I'm just going to let my dog run free in the park. And he's out there early looking at birds and whatnot. And he sees a fucking dog. And so he brings it up to her. He says, "Hey, you're not allowed to have an unleashed dog in this part of the park." And she says, "I don't feel safe in the other part of the park." He's like, "Well, I don't know what to tell you, but having your dog run through here, blah, blah, blah." She said, "I'm going to do what I want to do," or something like that. He said, "Oh, is that the way we're going to do it? You're going to do what you're going to want, whatever you want to do, then I'm going to do whatever I want to do, and you're not going to like it." Now, at that point, she says, "Oh, fuck. What does he mean? He's going to kill me? I'm not going to like that. He's going to rape me." She jumps to a wild conclusion. What he meant was he carries dog treats in his pocket. So when you're an irresponsible dog walker with a dog off a leash, he can easily go, "Here, Pooch, you want a treat?" And then your
Right.
dog will come over to him. And so he said that you're not going to like it. And he was pulling some dog treats out. And she's like, "Don't you touch my dog." Ah, ah, ah. He sees her freak out. That's when he starts filming, going, I don't know where this bitch is going with this. And that's when she says, "I'm being harassed by a black man in the park or an African-American, blah, 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 blah." And it just escalates to what you see there. And people are outraged. This is racist. They want her banned for life from the park.
Okay.
Yes, banned for life from the park. I don't know how you feel about that. Do you think that's worthy of a ban for life?
I don't think so. I think it's a little overacting.
Little overacting. Do you have a problem with what she did here? I guess I'll give you my opinion because I can see both sides of this. And there's a prosecutor or a defense attorney in New York City who has said, "This looks innocent, but I'm telling you, there are countless guys in Rikers right now, prison, because someone called the police and said, 'This African-American scared me. He's doing this. He threatened me.' And it's not on video. And it's my word versus your word. And that dude gets fucking hauled in, thrown in jail. His family can't afford bail. And he sits there for weeks, months, or longer. And it's something as simple as this. In this case, you have video evidence showing that she was a little out of control. He was not threatening her in any way. But, so there's that side where it's like, hey, this might seem innocent enough. The cops would get there and clearly there's no issue. Well, they could very easily arrest this guy, throw him in jail. He can't make bail. And then he's fucked. So
Right.
there's that side. And then there's the side, you've got a woman by herself with her dog in a park. There's no one else around. And this man comes up and addresses her. And she doesn't know why he's coming up or what he's saying or what you're getting too close to me. I don't know you. You're freaking me out. Why are you calling my dog over to you? I feel threatened. And women have been harassed with horrible intent forever. And so you can understand why a woman might feel threatened anytime someone twice her size comes up to her and there's no one else around. I think the problem she made was specifying that he's African American.
Yeah, I think so. You could argue technically that the 911 person was like, describe the man,
But she says before she makes the call, "I'm going to call the police and tell them an African American man is harassing me." He says, "Go ahead, tell him anything you want."
I just think that, just imagine being famous for being that girl. You know what I mean? Like, that's like her whole life for the next 2 months. That's who she is. She's Karen, Central Park Karen.
And longer than that, because as soon as Central Park Karen happens, they have to remind us about Poolside Susan and grocery store fucking Gina.
Yeah.
Like we see all the images of white bitches freaking out on a phone, still images of them freaking out, and it's forever. You're forever that person now. And Karen, it's such a great name, isn't it?
Yeah.
Karen.
Yeah.
Like, and it's too bad too, because this guy Christian Cooper is the guy's name. Her name's Amy Cooper. Two Coops couldn't settle this together and fucking find some happy ground together. You know what I mean? It just seems like a missed opportunity.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's just a weird time. People are scared. People are reacting. I mean, like, maybe you don't know what, you didn't see a film of him doing anything. You make a valid point. I didn't know any of that stuff. I don't know her history. I don't know her past. But I mean, I didn't think that what I heard qualified as threatening, or
No.
her and her dog. And so when
Nope.
she said that, that's also clickbait though. Like you're saying, like all of the other stuff that happened, wasn't mentioned. It's like they lead with that video, and
Right.
everyone's immediately like, fuck her. Well, you're forgetting.
Her.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot. It takes a lot to work me up these days. I just, I'm just trying to do the
Yeah.
right stuff and stay safe.
Well, I'll tell you this. She's a New York investment firm is where she works. She's been fired from her senior position there. So she lost her job. Boom. She won't have to worry about it. She won't be able to afford to stay living near Central Park anymore.
Right.
So I won't have to worry about that. And now, this group has come out, the mayor, Bill de Blasio, this is racism at its finest. Blah, blah. Of course, all the fucking people who want this to be racism are saying it's racism. Simple as that, done, story's over. This is racism. This is what white people do to black people. It ends today, and they want her banned for life from the park. Banned for life. I don't know if I go that far.
I mean, you have to.
Well, they're just going to
That's the
say
thing.
that. It's not possible. So
Yeah, it's not possible to enforce. Yeah, but also at the same
know.
time, it's just like there is no forgiveness is so difficult. It seems to be like there's so many people who are so excited about crucifixion or any mistake that any person makes. I mean, I don't know anything about Central Park Karen. I know that's not her name, but
Amy
what
Cooper.
if Amy Cooper? That's right. What if Amy Cooper is a good lady, a good mother, a good wife, a responsible pet owner?
She looks like she'd have a nice wife at home.
Okay. Is she
I
gay?
don't know that for sure. I don't know. I'm just going based on looks.
Okay,
Are we allowed to make judgment based on looks?
Okay, let's say she's a good spouse to whomever she's married to.
Okay.
She's a good dog owner. She's a responsible human, tax-paying citizen, votes responsible. But she's been caught up in the fact that maybe 2 or 3 of her family members are sick. Maybe someone else is dying. She has to socially distance 6 feet in New York constantly. They're like so super Nazi about it over there. And then all of a sudden, someone's got a camera and she has an altercation. Everything that she's thinking about comes out. Ah!
Yeah.
And it's like, maybe that's just what it is. I don't think that I'm in a situation or position to crucify Central Park Karen forever. Will I watch that video once and go, ugh? Yeah, not twice.
Yeah. I love it, dude. I've been trying to get this to stick with society for, I don't know, a couple of years now, about granting people the benefit of the doubt.
You got to give it to them initially.
Extending that courtesy to people, recognizing that, okay, I just watched 1 minute of a video that picked up halfway through an altercation, and now you're throwing headlines at me. It reminds me of the guys in Chipotle or wherever it was, where she's going, you want a burrito, or you can pay for it first. And he's going, did you make the white man pay for it first? You make the white man pay for it first? And then blasted that video everywhere. And she ends up getting fired at first, blah, blah, blah. And then you read more stories about it. She's moved to Minnesota on a softball scholarship. She runs her Christian fellowship group. She's got no family around, considers this restaurant family. And these guys had been continually coming into the restaurant, ordering burritos, and then grabbing them and fucking running before she could get payment from them. And then she would pay for the burritos out of her own pocket. So that particular day, she says, can you pay for it first this time? And they're like, oh, you wouldn't make the white man pay for it. Her whole life was destroyed.
Right.
And it was like, what could nobody possibly see that maybe there was more to this story than just the absolute worst possible thing? And so I'm inclined, why are we hanging on to our benefit of the doubt? We can grant the benefit of the doubt to anybody until they prove us wrong, until we know everything.
Because it's more fun and it's clickbait to do it the other way.
Yeah,
It's easily more fun to go. Shoot first, ask questions later.
Yeah, I think it's dangerous, and we're rewarding way too many of these people, because the fact is, when that story came out, the restaurant offers her a job back, and I said they should sue the fuck out. She should sue the fuck out of that restaurant. They publicly humiliated her, acted like she was guilty without knowing the full facts, fired her. Her name was all over the global press. I thought she had grounds for a fucking huge lawsuit.
Right.
And but then the story changes. All the facts come out. These guys' faces aren't plastered all over as the scum shit they were, ripping the restaurant up. No, they're fine. Clear. You've never seen their pictures. You've never seen or heard their name. But this girl forever is Googleable as that. Right. So
Yeah.
Karen, in this case, and we'll wrap things up here. Central
I
Park.
gotta pick up Michelle.
Okay. Give me one sec. It was unacceptable, and I humbly and fully apologize to everyone who's seen that video, everyone that's been offended, everyone who thinks of me in a lower light, and I understand why they do. When I think about the police, I'm such a blessed person. I've come to realize, especially today, that I think of the police as a protection agency. And unfortunately, this has caused me to realize that there's so many people in the country that don't have that luxury, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Good luck to her. I think it was a little over the line. Go ahead, Chris. You can bail if you got to go get Michelle.
Okay, thanks, buddy.
And are we going to do something later this week? Heroin has a great publicist.
Yeah, let's do it. If it's cool with Travis, I want to make sure he's okay with it. If he's not okay with it, I get text messages at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Stop.
They're made by my sister, and they're mean, and they're in Spanish, and I have to Google what he's saying.
You can put that stuff on silent, just because you're on specific time.
Yeah, you don't want to fucking comment Travis sideways. He'll fucking.
We can handle that, Chris.
I gotta
Shoot
go,
your hand
guys.
up when you're done here.
All right, see you guys.
All right, kid. Thanks, man. We'll talk to you soon. All right, we'll wrap it up there. E, do you have any final take on Karen or Trav? Either of you?
Not really, but I will say this. I never talked about this because of our situation. But when you mentioned New York, it never got discussed because of you moving and in the show and COVID. But when I went there to see Pat Green, I never told you this, but in February, I had a late flight on Saturday, so we rented bikes because I wanted to rent bikes and ride around Central Park like I've done the last few times I've gone. Mm-hmm. And at one point, we wanted to see the Seinfeld Diner, so we ended up going on like the outside of Central Park, but we felt like we had to get going.
Is that way north or way south?
Way north, dude. It's
way north. Okay.
You have to really want to see the Seinfeld Diner if you want to see it. It is not an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we were kind of busting. Me and listener Spencer, who went with me, we were kind of busting, and I started going, "Fuck it, Central Park's on our right, so there's no traffic coming on the right. When you see stoplights, we're just gonna blow through this shit. We gotta fucking go." And dude, I swear to fucking God, after a little bit, I was gonna hear this light, like boop boop, and I'm like, "Oh fuck!" I'm like, he's fucking pulling us over.
Riding bicycles?
Yes, through stoplights. He was pulling us over. He pulled us over, and we're sitting there, and the dude Spencer's like, maybe we'll get a warning. I'm like, we're not gonna get a fucking warning. He's gonna look at our licenses and go, 2 kids from Detroit visiting New York City riding bikes. Here's an easy fucking ticket to give out.
Yeah.
And sure fucking enough, dude. Ticket for running through a red light.
Good.
But here's the funny thing about it. I waited. You had a certain amount of period to you could not pay it online for some reason. By the way, I had to fucking.
Oh, they want you in person or mail it in?
I had to mail back, and I had to write my credit card number and shit on a thing and mail it. Well, I waited a week because I was trying to figure out if I even really needed to do this. What was this kind of bullshit? Could I fight it in a way? And I waited a week.
You're arrested in New York City.
And when I sent it, but here's the thing. I sent it out, but once I sent it out, like the next week, COVID became a fucking shitstorm, and so it hasn't been on my. I look every day to see if it went through my credit card, and it never did. But like,
how much was it?
Dude, it was like a fucking $170 or some shit.
Oh shit!
A warrant in New York.
But it's just kind of.
You got a warrant in New York now.
I mean, I'm gonna call at some point and settle it, but on the same hand, it's a weird. I'm just more saying the timing of it is odd because they got a lot more to worry about than my little biking ticket.
I don't even think the NYPD. If you went there now and were trolling around, they went, "Hey, this is a warrant out for this Fady character. He's a menace to society." I don't think anyone's gonna haul you unless the precinct is right across the street from where you are.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's sending someone to pick you up on a warrant.
I know. It's just.
Wait, what did he do? He blew through a red light on his bicycle. Ooh, we'll be right there. We got to get this menace off the streets.
we went through so many too, and it was my fault because I just like we need to hurry up. I'm like, and I figured there's literally no cars on our right because the park's there, and so if you don't see a car on the left turning in, I'm like, dude, let's just we're blowing through them. Don't worry, let's just go.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, fucking, that whole, and I'm like, we're getting fucking pulled over now.
Why didn't you run, dude? You could have made a run for it. Go down an alley somewhere.
I don't know. Not where I was.
That's
It
funny.
just made me think about it when you talked about New York, because it's like I'm still sitting here with this ticket over my head.
Yeah.
It hasn't been taken care of, I guess. But
if you want to email in, Eric at DetroitCast works. Walters at DetroitCast. Travis at DetroitCast. Any of us can get email at DetroitCast.com. All of those work. I love getting emails from random people. There's a lot of people around here who have emailed me wanting to show me around different parts of Arizona or grab a lunch or a beer or something. I'm getting a lot of those. So thank you to all the people that do that. If you want to write in, we appreciate it. Also, don't forget our friends at MyPillow. Use the promo code TDC. They're like every time I look up, if you're using that code, half off everything or buy one, get one free on the pillows, the Giza sheets, and all kinds of the dog beds. I got Shebsby here. Shelby loves her dog bed that Mike sent out here for us. And also the Amazon link. That is such a huge one and such a no-brainer. Just please, oh God, I just saw a message pop up from Michelle Dion. I don't even want to know what it says. Go to Amazon, go to DetroitCast.com, click on that Amazon link and just shop away. I know you guys are shopping your asses off there. So please, a little kickback for us makes things much easier during these times. And with that, I guess we'll call it a day, unless you guys got anything to add.
good.
You good? All right. Thank you, Travis. Thank you to Jennifer for letting us do this. And Isis, thank you as always. I love the letter jacket. It should be part of your wardrobe from now on. I love it.
I think I'm going to wear it now. Not in the summer, but I mean in the winter. I'm just gonna fucking wear it. I don't care that, like, there was a time, you know what I mean. There was a time to be like, oh, look at this D-bag wearing his 03 Letterman jacket. But like, I think now I'm at a point where it's like it's so obnoxious that it's almost funny.
It's kind of sweet now that enough time has passed.
Right.
Like if this was 2005 and you were wearing it, you'd look like an asshole.
Right.
But now it's like it's vintage.
Right.
I mean, like, yeah. So I think you're good. All right, let's call it a day there. Thanks everybody for joining us. We appreciate it. Thank you to all the members who have stuck with their memberships. I know that's not easy, and especially in these trying times that we're all going through. But it is noticed, it is appreciated, and we fully understand the people who have not been able to maintain. We get it, but thank you to those that have been able to. And we'll do it again later this week. Hopefully, you guys all enjoyed your Memorial weekend. I didn't even ask you guys about it, but get out on that boat, Travis. And we'll pick it up one of these days when Travis is available. All right. If it's too nice of a day, we're letting him go out on his fucking boat. Deal with it. With that, we'll call it a day. See you guys. We'll do it again later this week.